Okay, so I had this whole plan for today to do this tutorial for the granny square stocking. I even have all my granny squares and stuff ready, but I don't want to do it today. I'm not in the mood for that. I want to make a baby thing. I want to make something cute for a baby that's also Christmassy. So I got a bunch of yarn out, green, and I'm thinking, let's make a baby Christmas tree hat. Wouldn't that be kind of cute? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Let me get out my bullet journal. And we can figure this out together because I'm not really sure what I'm doing again. So, baby head. What do baby heads look like? How big is a baby head? What size should we do? 6-month-old's head. 17 inches around. Okay, good to know. I don't know how to draw human faces, let alone baby human faces, but just let's hope this kind of covers it. What do babies even? This is why the artists in like the Michelangelo times made baby Jesus just look like an adult person, because babies are hard. What do babies look like? Okay, I'm gonna rush through this so that you don't have to watch me figure out how to draw a baby's face, because this is probably gonna take way longer than you want to watch. So I'm zooming it down into a shorter clip, but eventually we will get to the point where we have a workable baby's face. What I want to show you how to do today is to make a baby hat that looks like a Christmas tree. That's the goal. You need a 4mm crochet hook for this one and a bunch of random green, brown, gold yarn. Red if you want to. Okay, here's my best my best cursed drawing of a baby. I don't know how to draw babies. I'm sorry, this is cursed. But this is the idea that I've got around the hat. So it's going to be, first of all, it'll be a rectangle, of course. Okay, first, this pattern is going to be worked out as a rectangle. Okay, and excuse my terrible lines. It doesn't matter. Okay, so by having this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this piece be even on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, God. Just play along, okay? By having them be even, we can fold that rectangle in half. And if we stitch one of the sides, if we fold that rectangle in half and then stitch this line closed, then we have like a little triangle hat, like imagine there. Now we have like a little face area, and then the ears can be covered right about here, and then it's a little pointed hat. So I'm trying to make something like that, but also incorporate red and green and Christmas vibes, something to make it cute. So maybe this is the tree, and then we will add a couple of little things to it to make it a little bit more Christmassy. So stay tuned, because I'm not yet 100% sure how we're going to do this. I am just going to do my black outline and my title, and then we can get started. Okay, so this cursed image is the baby. This is the hat. These are the colors we're working with. And I think the hook size is going to be a 4mm. So these are the colors, that is the shape, and that's how we're going to do it. So I'm not even going to color this in because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So this is just where we're starting. We're going to be making this up as we go along. I think we should start with the brown, like the trunk of the tree. I think that'll be a cute place to start. And then maybe we can move into this handspun gold. I believe this is Sadie's handspun mix. Okay, so to begin today, I am going to be making a rectangle. I know that the size of about a 6-month-old baby is a 17-inch around head. So that means that the distance around like that will need to be 17.5 inches. So that's from this point all the way around to this point. And if that's got to be half of 17.5 inches, geez Louise, then, well, that was awfully dramatic. So after figuring out Pythagorean's theorem and taking way too much time to figure this out, we are going to be making, for a 6-month-old baby, we want the circumference of the head to be 17.5. So what I'm going to do is a 10-inch long rectangle, 4 inches wide. So I'm going to be doing that in a bunch of different stitches to make some awesome textures and to make it feel like a Christmas tree, hopefully. But that is still going to start with, I believe, 50 chain stitches, but I'll tell you when I finish. Okay, so I am going to start with a chain of 51. Let's write that down as we go. And then I'm going to single crochet into the first stitch, into the second stitch from the hook, single crochet, second stitch, and then I'm going to single crochet across. Let's start really simply here. We can always go back and add some fun decoration and edge stitching after the fact, but let's just get the rectangle part done first. So like I said, I'm going to just single crochet across, nothing special here, nothing fancy or new. So I will meet you when I get back to the other end of the little Christmas tree hoodie. And here I am on the last stitch of that chain. And also, check this out. I'm wearing my mended sweater from the last video. You should check that one out too. Okay, for this next part, I kind of want to add in a textured stitch. So I'm going to chain up to get to my next row and turn. And then what I'm going to do is start every row that I work, I want to start with a single crochet and I want to finish with a single crochet. That way we are going to keep the lines really straight here. But from there on, what I'm going to be doing is 4 single crochet, 4 half double crochet. So 1, actually we'll count that first one as 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to half double crochet. 1 and 4. And you might not be able to see it right away, but the variation in the height of the stitches is going to create a cool wave effect. Now we're back to single crochet. So 1, 2, 4, and then back to half double. And I'm just going to repeat that across, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so I'm at the last stitch of that row, and I'm going to put a single crochet in there, and then I'm going to chain up 1. Now, if you stretch it out, you can kind of see that wave we've got going here. So now what we can do is we can either make the wave bigger by repeating exactly the same stitches, half doubles in this round row, a set of stitches, and then singles in this round, or we can keep it a little less textured and go for doing the reverse. So in the half double stitches we could do single crochets, and in the single crochets we could do half double. I think for this, I am going to go for more texture because I kind of want this little hat, little hoodlet to kind of feel like a Woodland Fairies baby's hat. So I want more texture. I want this to feel like it's the bark of the tree. So since my first stitch there is a single crochet, that's good. And now I'm going to do 4 half double crochets, and then 4 single crochets and 4 half double crochets, and so on and so forth until I get to the end of this row. And at the end of this row, I'll meet you down there, but you're going to chain 1 and turn at the end of your row. Now at the end of that row, I'm going to chain up, and now let me flatten it out. You can see it's a little rumply bumply, but you can see it's wider and then skinnier and then wider. And I think it's such a cute little texture. So now we're going to do the reverse. For the first stitch and the last stitch, I'm still going to do a single crochet. But now, instead of starting with 4 single crochets, I'm going to start with 4 half double crochets. Then I'm going to follow that up with 4 single crochets, and then 4 more half double crochets. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way across. 4 singles, 4 doubles, 4 singles, 4 doubles, and when I get to the end, I will be finishing with a single crochet stitch and a chain 1 to turn. Okay, I've made it to the end of that row, chained up and turned. You can see the texture. It's just kind of simple, kind of cute. Gives it a little bit of extra pizzazz, I think. So we're going to do one more row in this brown before we switch colors, and we're going to do the same exact thing one more time. So we're going to do the same stitches that are there. So we're going to do 4 single crochets here, followed by 4 half double crochets, and then single crochets, half double crochets, and so on and so forth until we get to the end of this row, and I will meet you there. Okay, so here we are. Now you can see that cute little texture. It just gets a little wider and a little thinner, that's all, but it's cute. Now we're actually going to change colors because we don't have very much space to work with. Remember, it's only supposed to be 10 inches long, but 5 inches high, and we're already nearly at 1 inch, so I don't want to spend too much of our area using brown. I want to get into the greens. First though, I think I'll do around, no, I think I'll start with green. Green's a good place to start. So I'm just doing a color change here by going to finish my last stitch of the row and then introduce my new color for that final loop through, and then I'm going to chain up. And then I'm just going to single crochet what I'm going to do next is single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet over these tails so that I don't have to weave them in later. So I am going to start, like I said, with a single crochet, and I am just going to single crochet across this row, nothing special, nothing fancy, just to transition from the brown. And I think that it is kind of cute that these are not the same weight of yarn. The green is much finer of a yarn, and I think it is going to give some really cool texture in the final piece. So I'm hoping it comes as it is in my head. I'm thinking of a little forest fairy baby with a little tree hat, or like a little elf baby somewhere in a coniferous forest. Anyway, I am going to single crochet like I am all the way across and all the way back. So I'm going to do 2 rows, nothing special, just 2 rows of single crochet. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn, and I will see you back here when you finish both of those rows. All right, I'm finishing up that row, and now I'm going to swap in to a new set of colors. And this is 2 strands of yarn I'm using now. So that lone ball we can get rid of. Now with just my new colors, I'm going to chain up 1 and turn. And again, I'm going to do weaving as I go by just crocheting over top of the threads, the extra yarn ends. And again, I'm going to do 2 rows of single crochet here. Don't worry, we're going to get into some fun stuff, but this is the base of our tree if you think about it. Okay, here I am at the end of that row. So now we have 4 rows of single crochet after that wave stitch. I like that because it just breaks it up and makes it a nice dense stitch, but I think we should switch back into single strand now and go for the fun red and green Christmas color yarn I've got here. So I'm just going to finish my stitch with both the old and the new. Oops, did I miss a stitch? Yep, oops. Chain 1 and turn. There we go. That was a little more dramatic than we needed. But we've got some nice rows coming in here. And if you think about it, when we're finished, this is going to be the back. Like that's where it's going to be stitched together. And we're basically moving up towards the face. So it's kind of nice to have some greens and just some Christmassy vibes. You can do whatever you want. Just make a rectangle that's 10 inches by 5 inches or 6 inches by 12 inches if you have a baby with a bigger head. But for about a 6-month-old baby, it is 10 inches by 5 inches. I think now would be a good time to include a more textured stitch. So let me think of what we could do next here. Okay, I've figured it out. So let's follow along. We're going to start with a double crochet in that first stitch, which is very tight. 1 and 3. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. And then single crochet, and then single crochet in the next. And we're just going to repeat that, double crochet, single crochet, all the way across. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn. I'll meet you there. All right, so I finished that first row, and now for the second row of this new color, to keep that texture going, we're going to, well, first I'm starting with a single crochet, so I'm not following the rule. Every stitch, every row, I'm trying to start with a single crochet to keep it nice and straight when we finish up. But now that second stitch is a double crochet. So in that stitch, we're going to single crochet. And then the following stitch is a single crochet, so we're going to double crochet. We're just doing the reverse of what we did the previous row. So there's a double crochet. I'm going to give it a single crochet, and that one's a single, so we're going to go double. And we're going to do that all the way across, and I guess we're going to see where we end up, because I'm making it up as I go along. Hopefully it's coming out cute. I like it. And hey, if you like what you're seeing too, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate if you could take a second and click that button. And if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel, because I put out new videos on Tuesdays, but I also live stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. So you can stop by for a chat, come hang out, tell us about the projects you're working on. It's a great community and an awesome space to hang out and get your morning started. I think I want to keep going and do 2 more rows with this Christmassy yarn before we switch it out for something else. And I'm going to follow the same pattern again. So single crochet, Everywhere where there is a double crochet, you're going to do a single crochet. Everywhere where there's a single crochet, you're going to do a double crochet. Let's do 2 more rows of that. Okay, so I finished 4 rows of that little textured stitch we did. I'm going to switch back to the just plain green, and I'm going to do 2 more rows of just single crochet. So I'm going to finish that last stitch with my new color, and then I'll chain up 1 and turn it around. So I'm going to do 2 rows of single crochets here, and when I get back to the beginning, I'm going to show you something that I want to do to get a little bit more texture here. Again, this is a very easy pattern to just manipulate any way you want, because you just need to make a rectangle. The finishing parts is how we turn it into a hat. So we're starting with a rectangle. You can use a rectangle with any number of colors, any number of stitches, stitch types, I should say. You could do baubles on here, you could do some spiral stitches, or you could do a ribbed stitch all the way. Just make a rectangle that is 10 inches by 5 inches, and you're going to be good to go. And there we are with 2 more rows. You can see how cute that's looking. And we're just doing little quiet textures. That's what I'm thinking of them as. So now we're going to change into a brand new yarn. This one is very strong. It is a gold color, and it is a loose spun. I don't know. It's a hand spun. Anyway, I think this was made by Sadie, so thank you, Sadie. And I'm just going to finish my last 2 stitches. I did that thing again where I made my tail too short, and then to change colors, I will yarn over with my working yarn and then my new color. Pull through with all of them, and then with just my new color I will do a chain 1. And there we go. So I want this one to stick out because I think it's a really cute yarn, and I don't know when else I'll be able to find a use where it's perfectly. I want to use a lot of it is my point. So I'm going to do a row, actually 2 rows of half double. Sorry about that. I must have not noticed, but the memory card filled up, so I just had to empty that out, and now I am back here. After 2 rows of that gold half double crochet, I'm going to do 2 rows, maybe 4 rows, but 2 rows for sure of this green that we've been going back to and using single crochets for. So that is what I'm gonna do. Actually, I kind of want to make an extra texture. Is this extra? Okay, let's do something else. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with a regular single crochet, no problem. But then I'm going to do front loop and then back loop only. And then front loop and then back loop only. And I'm going to repeat that all the way across. My goal here is just to create something that's a little bit fun, has some fun textures in it, maybe show you a stitch you didn't know before, or a texture you might not have seen. So this one is just doing a front loop only and then a back loop only, one after the other, repeated all the way across. And I think I will do a total of 3 rows of this because I have 1 row regular single crochet, and now I'm going back with the front post, back loop, front loop, back loop, and then I'll go that back up and back down. So I will see you once we get to 4 rows in this green, and then it'll be time to decide what are we gonna do next. I feel like it might be time to add some major textures now. maybe some decorations or something. But anyway, I will see you when I finish. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. We've got some nice textures moving through. Each little section is a different stitch or texture. I really like how this top green one looks. Now I think it would be a good time to bring in a darker green. This looks so blue on camera, but it's like a blue and green. Can you see the bits of green in it? Actually, change of plans. Let's do a couple more rows of that red and green because we're trying to make this a fun little Christmas thing. So I am going to do my last, is that my last stitch? My last stitch here with both colors. Chain up with just the new color and turn. Okay, so at this point I am going to just do single crochets, regular single crochets. I'm going to do, I'm either going to do 2 or 4 rows. Let's see. So I ended up going for 4 rows of the red and green yarn in single crochets. And now I think I'm going to go in with a darker yarn. I have this really nice soft yarn. One sec, let me just get that last stitch. This one here, I think that will make a nice addition to this. I feel like we're getting some Christmas tree vibes. All right. There we go. Chain up and turn. And I think I'll do 2 rows of this one, single crochets. Maybe the next round I will do something different. So I'm just going to do 2 rows of these. Okay, I'm at the end of this row of single crochets and I decided I'm going to throw another texture in because I feel like this hat is a textured little Christmas tree hat. And so for the next row, which is going to be in this same color, I'm going to do back loops only single crochet. So it's not going to be the first stitch and last stitch I'll do regular, but otherwise I'm just going to do back loops only just to create a little bit more variation. I'm really enjoying all the different colors and textures in this. I still think it looks pretty Christmassy though, but we shall see. After this row, I'm going to measure how tall we're at because we need to get to 5 inches, if you'll remember. I don't think we are quite there yet, but we've probably pretty close. So see you then. Okay, so here is where we're at right now. I don't think we are quite at 5 inches. No, we're just at 4. So we still need a little bit more to go forward, but I'll show you the idea. So we're going to sew this bonnet part closed at the back here, and then this area will be like the front, and it'll be like a little triangle hat. These will come down on the sides. We're going to do finishing stitches, but that's the basic idea. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to use some of my own hand spun yarn. I don't remember, but I don't think this is very well spun, but I did my best, and I think that will make it more fun to add in. So I'm going to use my own hand spun yarn for the next 2 rows. And I think for the next 2 rows, I'm going to do half double crochets again, just for fun. All right, so there's the hand spun. And now let's switch back into, I kind of like this white and green. We only did it once down here. So let's switch into that and do a couple rows of that. And for this part, I am just going to do single crochets across, and I'm going to do 2 rows of single crochets with this one. Okay, here we are with our rectangle. I know it doesn't look like the edges are straight, but they are. It just needs blocking. It's the right number of stitches per row. Anyway, where are we at in terms of inches? All right, we've made it past 5, so that is good. So that means I'm going to just do one more stitch there, yarn over, pull through, and I'll weave that end off. And now it's time to put it together. So you pick your side that's prettier. I think that both of my sides look okay. Maybe this side's prettier because it has that nice ridge from the front post, back post. You see the ridge? So for that case, I'm going to put it wrong sides together with the rectangle matching up along those stitches. And now what I'm going to do is, with what's remaining of the brown yarn here, I am going to single crochet these 2 layers together from the bottom all the way up. So I'm just going to stick my needle in. Let me zoom you in. I'm going to stick my hook in, sorry, through both pieces of fabric, and then I'm going to yarn over with the brown yarn and pull it through both. And then with just the working yarn, I'm going to just do a chain of 1 and tighten that down. And now I'm just going to work across. I'm going to be tucking the ends in as I go so that I don't have any ends to weave in later. You could do a blanket stitch here or a slip stitch if you want to crochet but you don't want to do a single crochet. I just want to do a single crochet because I like how the seams look. All right, there, I made it to the end. Just trim that, yarn over, pull through, and then I'll weave in that end. We'll put that inside out. And now this is the little hat. So now what we have to do to make this hat work properly, we need to bring in the bottom here and also finish off this edge in a nice soft way so that it fits on top of a little baby's head. Is that not so cute though? It's like a little Christmas tree. Oh gosh, I think it's really cute. That's how it's gonna look, hopefully, on a little one. Something like that. But we do have to finish this edge here, so what should we finish it in? I kind of like this dark green, and we've only used it once. But we could also go back and use that Christmas red and green, because that's pretty nice. What if we use both? Because this bottom part can be thicker. So I'm going to pull up a loop with my new preferred working yarn, leaving all the tails behind there. And then I'm going to chain up 1, chain up 2, and chain up 3. And we are going to do double crochets in each available row across. So we'll just double crochet everywhere where you can get it to fit. For a double crochet, you put a double crochet in. I changed my mind. I don't want to do double crochets. I think I want to do half double crochets. So let's do that. 1, 2. Yeah, I think I would prefer to half double crochet. All right, and there is the last stitch. I'm gonna yarn over one more time, cut my yarn and pull it through. I have that end to weave in, but look at how cute this little hat is. Okay, I'm gonna need to press it out, and then we're gonna have to get something to show it, like a model of some sort. So here it is for now, but on the next shot, you'll see how it turned out. Okay, so it's a little while later. I steamed this hat just to sort of get the wobbles and waves out of the hat, but this is what it is looking like. I don't have a baby to showcase it on, but this is about 17.5 inches around, which is how big a baby's head is. Kind of looks like that little alien, am I right? Well, we're gonna change that. I decided I want to also add a little pom-pom to the top because pom-poms make everything cuter. So let's do that. I've got my pom-pom. If you don't know how to make a pom-pom, I'm sorry, I already made mine, so I can't help you. It's not difficult, so go watch a video on how to make a pom-pom and then come back here when you've made your pom-pom. Alrighty. Now I'm just gonna stick it through the pom-pom one more time and then down through the hat on the inside. And then I'm going to tie it to that initial string, the last unwoven end. I'm just gonna do a couple of knots and I'm gonna just cut it off short there. And now it's done. Oh, look how cute it is. Let me get you backed up so you can actually see it in all of its glory. Okay, so here we go with the pom-pom. I guess it would be more like that because it goes around the back. And that would cover up the ears. Look how cute this is. I wish I had a little baby to try it on. But that's it. The little Christmas tree, the cottagecore bonnet style, simple hat for little ones. I think this is a really cute hat to make for a Christmas gift too, because it's just, look how cute it is. It's just a simple design, but you get this really unique pattern by doing just different textures for each couple of rows, changing your yarn color. I really love how that gold came out. Anyway, friends, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you liked this video, definitely click the like button. Also, a big thank you to each and every one of my patrons. Thank you so much for being a patron. If you're interested in being a patron, you will get access to all of my bullet journal patterns with all of my bullet journal spreads, and you'll also get access to the Discord, which is a private community of crafty people who like to talk about all things and share your projects and all kinds of stuff. So if that sounds interesting, check the link in the description below, and yeah, don't forget to like the video. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye!